Hi and welcome back. In this tutorial we're going to have a look at MIDI files and how we can use those in Live. This is going to be a very quick and very simple tutorial really, because there isn't a lot of difference when working with MIDI files to working with normal MIDI clips within Live. In fact, as soon as they're loaded into Live, they just basically become normal MIDI clips. So I'll just create some space here. Now I have a couple of MIDI files here. We can tell MIDI files because they've got this little icon here, and they've also got the extension .mid. And this little arrow opens it up so that we can see what's inside it, and that's basically how many MIDI channels there are containing information. Now this MIDI file here only has one channel in it, so we can drag that in, and we can drag that either to an existing MIDI track, and you can see it's exactly the same as a MIDI clip. Likewise, we can just drag that to an empty space and that will just create a MIDI track for it. But for MIDI files with multiple channels in them, if we have a look at this one here, this one I know has a lot of different channels in it, and you can see there's all the different channels, and if we drag that in, then basically this will automatically create a number of tracks for that to go on, laid out along a scene there. So of course this makes sense because each one of these is supposed to play a different sound, so it makes sense that they'd all be laid out on different tracks like that. But if I just undo that, if I was to hold Control or Option if I'm on Mac when dragging that in, then that gives us the option of dragging them vertically like that. Now you may want to do that just in case you haven't decided right at the beginning that where you want to put everything and how you want to organise it, and you just want to bring all the clips in for now, or you might want to try playing them all on a different instrument. But that's one way of doing that. Now it's important to note that this basically operates in the complete opposite way as to how it does for audio files. If you wanted to drag 3 audio files or a number of audio files in, by default they'll go to be on the same track, but if we then hold Control or Option, it will allow you to lay them across the scene like that. So that is the complete opposite to how it works with MIDI files. And if there's any program change information stored in the MIDI file, that'll be stored down here where it says Program, as well as banks and sub-banks above it there. And if there's any other MIDI control information stored in the MIDI file, and that'll be in this clip envelope section accessed by pressing the E button here. And any that have got red dots beside them, that indicates that the MIDI file contains control changes for those control numbers. Like here we've got control changes for number 7 and number 6. Any control changes that are saved within the MIDI file will be found here. But clip envelopes are for another day. We're not going to look at those now. You can go quite in depth with clip envelopes and we're going to cover them in another tutorial. But just in case you're wondering where all the control changes were, that's where you'll find them. You can then export to MIDI files literally by right clicking on any MIDI clip. Export MIDI clip. That will allow you to just save it somewhere as a standard MIDI file with the .mid extension. So, I mean, that's really it. I said this wasn't going to be a very long one. There isn't a lot to look at as far as MIDI files go. That's just kind of a really quick overview there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.